That's interesting to say and to know because I would say us as Nigerians right now, especially in America, there's a whole spectrum of how we're viewed by the public. I think that some people who maybe require or need legal services feel that they'll be stereotyped. Oh, I'm Nigerian. Like you said, I have an accent. My accent is strong. Or Nigerians are known to be scammers. Or these different type of stereotypes. How do you feel people should still navigate through that whenever they need some sort of help, despite whatever preconceived notion they have?
Well, I would say to those people that they should definitely get rid of such mentality.
Mm-hmm.
That is an old school way of thinking. It's a whole paradigm that's no longer working in this 21st century, in this 2023.
Yeah.
The Nigerian identity now is a strong one. It's a vibrant one. I'll point them to the Afrobeat culture. A lot of folks have a lot of interest, curiosity to connect to the Nigerian like never before. So I think it's time that we are actually celebrated. Our culture is in high demand. People want to connect to us like never before. So I think that old school paradigm is completely broken. And even me starting and coming into the leadership of Nigerian Center, I think that's one of the things that we settled from day one, that this is the new Nigeria. We had on October 1st last year, we got the mayor of Washington, D.C. to declare October 1st as Nigerian American Day.
Wow.
And it was in the news, both in Nigeria, both in the United States. And one of the things I said in that meeting was, whether you came to America 400 years ago, 4 years ago, or 4 months ago, we are all Nigerian American. I don't think Nigerian is someone who was born to parents who have Nigerian citizenship. There are people who have Nigerian ancestry and they identify as Nigerian. Some people married into the culture. Some people adopt the culture.
That's true.
We welcome that. We are so much an inclusive culture now. And there's so many shades to our identity as Nigerians. So I think this is a time where our culture again is celebrated like never before. Don't even entertain that thought. Are there people who still think certain way? Yes, they are liberty to think so, but that is not your people. The culture, the environment we have, people want to engage,
right.
People want to support, is actually an advantage, and I encourage people to embrace that.
All right, so now that we have the Nigerian Center, what kind of services does the Nigerian Center offer the community?
Our mission is to foster financial inclusion and provide access to the Nigerian culture here in America. The way we do that, we have identified 4 asset building areas. The very first one is immigration, providing folks immigration justice, access to free to low cost immigration services. We have a walk-in clinic. We have a Know Your Right monthly series that we offer. We also have financial programs. We do have a micro-lending program where we provide micro-loans to folks regardless of their immigration status. This loans ranges from $500 to $250,000 without collateral, in some cases without even immigration status or credit check. It is important because for a lot of folks in our community, entrepreneurship is the only option they have. Their foreign degrees may not be recognized here. They may not even have the opportunity to get a professional pathway. They have to resort to entrepreneurship. But because of immigration barriers and other barriers, they don't get that initial startup capital. We also do credit building loans to folks. We think that is important because in Nigeria, we don't have a credit system, but in America, right. Credit is king, credit is everything. It takes time for folks to adjust, to be familiar with having credit. So when a Nigerian now arrives in the United States and they go to the Nigerian Center, they can start to establish their credit profile from day one. We have homeownership programs. Homeownership is the cornerstone for wealth creation in America in pretty much every part of the world. So we let folks aware that there are grant opportunities for your down payment assistance, their first-time homebuyer program, and any credit counseling they may have, navigating the mortgage system, closing on a house, getting into the wealth creation aspect of that. We provide those programs as well. And we have cultural programs, language classes, and programs that really connect folks to the Nigerian cultural practices.
That's great. That's great to hear because I feel like, based on what we talked about earlier in the interview, Nigerians, I feel like we need to do better group economics compared to our counterparts of other ethnicities and races. A question I have for you is, how can the Nigerian Center foster a network so that we as Nigerians can, yes, do business with other people, but also do business amongst ourselves, so that we can have more of a combined wealth as like the Jewish community or the Indian community, for example?
Well, I think that happens over time, and but I think what may be a barrier to that line of thinking is the assumption that everyone is in the position to do business together. As I mentioned, we are very private with our realities, so some people might have some legal barriers to even incorporate a business, open a bank account, or even get a driver's license, and they may not talk about it.
Right.
So I think the role of the Nigerian Center is to eliminate such barriers.
Okay.
And allow wealth building to naturally foster and percolate among the community.
Okay. We're going to touch on some other things, but as of right now, how can people engage with the Nigerian Center online or in person in terms of maybe assistance, volunteering, donation, as you stated earlier?
Yes. Our website is nigeriancenter.org. We encourage folks to join us on our mailing list on the website, join our social media pages. There's a tab there called Get Involved. We are constantly accepting speaking opportunities, application for speakers. There could be subject matter experts, authors, historians, cultural experts, financial experts. They can come speak at the Nigerian Center. We have fellowship programs, volunteer programs where folks can volunteer at the center. We also have a community partners program, which is very important. Any community leader in any sphere, whether in business, faith-based community, mosques, churches, media, anyone that has any form of touch point with a Nigerian or any immigrant community, we want them to be on our community partners program as a board member, as an advisor, so they can let us know what the pain points of their communities are, and they can influence our programming in such a way that it connects to places we might not be able to reach to. We ask folks to support our programs, become a donor at the Nigerian Center. Because oftentimes, when we think of a center like Nigerian Center or programs of this size, we don't always think that our financial contribution can go a long way. And if you look at political campaign, it takes a little bit of money to really get things happen. So they can either become a recurring donor, they can do that on our website, or they could be a one-time donor. So those are some avenues that folks can support. And one more thing, I want everyone listening to see themselves as a Nigerian Center ambassador. Whatever that means, telling the next person that, oh, there's a center in DC you can go to. And you don't have to be in Washington, DC. There's services you can get online. Let people know that Nigerian Center now exists. And if there's any of those programs that benefit your community, let us know. We'll come to the phone, we'll travel to your location to educate folks on how to access our services.